Hello everyone, welcome to Reliable Movie Reviews. My name is Scott. Um, this week there wasn't any movies that I really wanted to see. Um, with that being the case, I decided to do a top 10 of 2011 that I personally saw and enjoyed. Excuse me. Now, this list is what I liked in 2011. Take it with a grain of salt. This is just my personal preferences. This isn't all the movies I've seen this year. This is just movies that I did see that came out in 2011. Now, I know there's several movies that have come out that were really good that I didn't get to watch. War Horse, Hugo, I think was the Martin Scorsese one. There's a few others out there that I didn't get a chance to watch because I only do one movie a week, and the fact that I have a 9-to-5 job, which I don't get paid to do this. I just do it for fun and to let everybody know. But let's start the countdown. My number 10 movie of the year was Captain America. I thought it followed the comic book as best it could given the circumstances. There are certain things that have to change for a movie like that. You can't have the typical costume, the spandex costume for the characters without them looking too cartoony or just blatantly stupid. With that being said, I do have other comic book movies in this list, but Captain America I thought did really well. It was shown in 3D. For anybody that's kept up with this movie reviews, I do not like 3D at all. It's just, it's a fad thing now. Everybody wants to do their movie in 3D, and most of them do not deserve to be in 3D. A lot of the cartoon movies, Kung Fu Panda, some of them movies, those are good in 3D because that's, a format for it. I do not enjoy 3D, and this movie did not change my mind. Number 9 on the list, 50-50. It was the movie about a cancer patient and his best friend and them coping with it. It was a dramedy, basically. Comedy drama, for those of y'all that don't know. This was a very good movie. It highlighted a lot of stuff that people do go through in these situations. My mom passed away from cancer, so it really hit home with me. And some of the situations, they poked fun at it because the guy who wrote it was a cancer survivor. It was basically his story. And it was a really good movie. Seth Rogen, his over-the-top characterization of his characters and stuff was very toned down in this movie, which made the movie even better. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and him together, they kind of evened each other out. Seth Rogen was the jokester friend, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the down-to-earth, straight-edge character. It was a very good movie. I really enjoyed it. Number 8 was Thor, another comic book movie. Really enjoyed it. Thought they did a fantastic job with it. I was a little worried at first because, Chris Hemsworth was a no-name, basically. He's only done Star Trek. He played Captain Kirk's father in it. And, other than that, hardly anybody knew who he was. I thought he did a really good job. And the movie was just fantastic. Anthony Hopkins was just awesome in it. Of course, he was a classically trained actor, so that's right up his alley. And of course, being a comic book fan, I really enjoyed that from that perspective. But you did not have to be a comic book fan to enjoy the movie. Excuse me. Number 7 on my list is Crazy Stupid Love, starring Steve Carell, Julianne Moore, Ryan Gosling, and Emma Stone. I thought it was a really good movie as well. Naturally, I mean, of course, all these movies I really enjoyed. They are on my top 10 list, but this movie, it was another, romantic comedy or rom-com, and it was also a rom-com dramedy. Okay, Ryan Gosling character in it tried to help Steve Carell's character get over a messy divorce and everything, and his wife was cheating on him, all that stuff. Helped him get through it, and it was a very good, buddy type transition through a divorce movie. The boy in it, the one who plays Steve Carell's son in it, fantastic job. This kid, he was brilliant in this movie. I'm not sure what his name is, but hopefully he'll be in a lot more movies. He did a really good job. Number 6 on my list was Warrior, starring the future Bane, Tom Hardy, and Joel Edgerton. It's about two brothers who fight in a mixed martial arts tournament, a UFC style thing, and the story is about them, their story getting to the tournament, and their father, Nick Nolte. This movie was not a sports movie. The sports part of it was 100% secondary. This was a story-driven, character-driven movie. It was very good. It's about family, two brothers, and their dad reconnecting. It was a very good movie. I highly recommend this. Number 5 is my last comic book movie on the list, X-Men First Class. I thought this movie did a fantastic job with the bringing together of the origins of Professor X and Magneto becoming friends, and the first class of X-Men and the Brotherhood of Mutants. Kevin Bacon did a fantastic job as Sebastian Shaw, the main bad guy in this movie. He was, you understood where he was coming from, against the mutant rights and everything, and you also very much disliked him. So you were very torn down the middle about wanting to like him, but you couldn't, because he was kind of an extremist type. Thought they did very well. The guy who played Magneto, I am drawing a blank on his name right now. He was in 300. He played Stelios. Michael Fassbender. I knew I'd get it. He did a fantastic job in this movie. Another person who was, pretty much flapping out in the wind. He's done a lot of secondary role movies. Being a headliner in this movie, did a just phenomenal job as Magneto. You really felt for him. You definitely understood where he was coming from and how much it hurt him when the friendship between him and Charles kind of, broke a little bit. Professor X was played by James McAvoy, who was in Wanted and the first Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It was a very good movie. This was my, by far, favorite superhero comic book movie of the year. It was just very good. Number 4 on my list is Sherlock Holmes of Game of Shadows, starring Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law, and so on and so forth. This movie was just as good, if not better, than the first one. When I was making my list, it wasn't that high on it at first, and then I started, going by story, character power, stuff like that, and it eventually got pushed up to number 4. The struggles that he faces, he faces it in a comedic light, but he's up against an adversary who is just as smart as he is. And, they're button heads, and of course him and Watson are, button heads through the whole thing as well. But when he's facing an enemy who is just as smart as he is, it's like a game of chess. You have to 16, 17 moves ahead, and he's still outthinking you. I thought it was a very good story, the characters delivered again. Robert Downey Jr. Crawled out of the ashes, and as Iron Man, and Tony Stark, Iron Man, and came back and did Sherlock Holmes, and he's just fantastic now. That's why it's number 4 on my list. Number 3, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Andy Serkis, by far the best stop motion or CGI actor out there. He played Gollum. He played Caesar in the movie. The movie is about the rise of the Planet of the Apes. The first ape who stood up against basically the humans who were mistreating him and all this. And it's got what was his name? He was in Spider-Man. James Franco. Jeez, I'm having brain farts today. I'm so sorry. James Franco played the main character in it, beside the CGI ape Caesar, or Andy Serkis. And it was a very good movie. It was very touching. You did not want it to end. This movie, I thought, it did live up to the 3D hype. It was very good, but it didn't have to have it. So, the number 2 movie on my list is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, starring same people through the first other 7. This is the book end to it, the very end of the series of movies and books. I thought it did a very good job of, closing the chapter, and, you wanted to see, whether their vision and your vision of what the books was the same. And I'm happy to say that they did a very good job with this. There was a few things that, they obviously had to leave out or shorten, and I was sad to see that, but, it was a very strong movie. It ended the series very, very well. I was happy with it. I do not have any complaints with how it ended the series. So it ended on a very high note. I wish all those actors the best of luck. Hopefully they will not get pigeonholed by, those 8 movies on the kind of characters, in future movies. So, and the number 1 movie of the year, now this is my personal opinion, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, starring Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg, Jeremy Renner, all them. This movie, if he doesn't do anything to screw it back up, has brought Tom Cruise back in as an action hero, movie star, an action movie star. There for a while, he just dropped off the face of the earth after he went crazy, on Oprah or whatever it was. And I don't know, you didn't see much of him or hear much about him. And this movie really brought him back. He did a really good job. The director of the movie, Brad Bird, not sure what his name, I want to say it's Bird. He did a fantastic job with this movie. He made the franchise marketable again, where the last one almost destroyed it. Simon Pegg, hilarious as always. He played a tech agent, basically. He just got promoted to the field, but he's also a technical guy. Jeremy Renner, I no longer have any doubts about him being in the new series of Bourne Identity movies, or the Bourne movies, or playing Hawkeye in the Avengers. I think he's got it. I was a little worried because, he's only had bit parts, and they put him in a beloved character spot in the Avengers as Hawkeye, and I was a little worried. Now I'm not. I mean, he did a fantastic job in this movie. This movie was well written. The special effects on top of the building in Dubai was just amazing. I highly recommend going and watching this movie. It's been out for 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks, and it's just that good. I went and watched it twice. Both times was, edge of the seat. I was just like, yes, and I knew what was going to happen. But that is my reviews for the year. If you liked the video, like and favorite it. Thank you for everybody who has watched the videos this year. I will try to be a little better and more assertive in my videos. I know I'm doing a lot of humming and hawing, like that, and I'm hoping to spread the word a little bit about my videos, and hopefully, once I can figure out how to do it, I will start showing clips over my shoulders or whatever during the process of the video while I'm talking about it. But until then, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for everybody who watches and continually watches week after week. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys in 2012.